So
apparently John Krasinski is getting hazed by the world. Have you followed this at all?
yeah, nobody's allowed to make money. Wouldn't want that to happen.
For people that don't know, here's the take on it. He made a podcast during the pandemic called Some Good News. And he would have guests on, and he fired up this thing, and using his pre-existing popularity, he instantly was a big hit. And people liked his podcast. And it was a feel-good web series, and it aims to bring happier news to people during the current pandemic.
Yeah,
cool.
All the news was bad. It was always virus this, tsunami that, whatever.
Yeah.
And then his show was all about here are the great things that are happening right now.
Are you talking about Jim from The Office?
Yeah.
Yeah, John Krasinski.
And did you hear that? So anyway, he took that great news, goodwill, etc., from the pandemic, and he sold it to the highest bidder. And now the show is moving behind a paywall. Who did he sell it to? It's not on this article.
That's hilarious.
Was it CBS?
Good for him.
Viacom CBS. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and buy a show called Some Good News. They couldn't have made just a blatant ripoff of that.
Oh, maybe they wanted Krasinski himself to be on it.
They're gonna want John Krasinski, and I'm sure that the man's got a team of people that they probably trademarked Some Good News right away.
You're right. Yeah.
So I guess I'm 80% on the side of make a buck. The guy works in entertainment. He created a podcast, and then he made money off his podcast. Dude, just Viacom.
Sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, Viacom, give us a call, and we'll see what we can work out.
What a piece of shit.
On the other hand,
Ski, right?
More. On the other hand, I don't know, something about the whole good news, happy-go-lucky, sell out in 6 weeks thing, strikes me as a little quick and a little. I don't know. I guess maybe I just expect it to be a little more, not pro bono, but what's the opposite of benevolent? Mm-hmm. Because the whole thing was about good news and good vibes, and then it feels like you had a pretty hardcore profit motive.
It's people was about Jim from The Office wants to talk about fun things, and really it was he was parlaying into the mainstream media basically a pitch for.
No, I'm not so sure that I'm going to buy in that from all the way from the beginning that this was a money making scheme. First of all, the man's a multimillionaire. He's got a series on Amazon that's very successful. He's directing films. He's starring in films.
Good point. Most people usually just decide they've got enough money and don't want more.
I know somebody who did.
I do too, but that's not the typical route.
Mr. McAfee, you silly bitch.
I think Kyle was talking about me.
Yeah, I was talking about Woody. Mr. McAfee would love to have his $94 million back. That's why he's so fucking crazy.
Oh, he didn't shout anything out.
He shouted many things out.
Okay, he didn't. No business interests. Nothing like that. Don't follow me on Twitter here. No.
Sure, he did. He was talking about homemade antibiotics, bath salts, and rum. But those were the only things he was concerned with the whole time. And then it went to a dark place with that dog talk. Mm. He was like, nobody who owns a dog would kill a dog. And I'm thinking, well, I've killed a few. Who's to cast stones? Here,
you're living in a glass house with that.
So. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I see of both minds. Yeah, the fact that he parlayed it into behind a paywall so quickly.
Here's the thing: the people who have a problem with it, they weren't watching the show anyway. That's always the case. It's always the case. That's what it always is.
You're so right.
That's how it always is. The people who have been watching that show and like John and like his show, they hear it's going to CBS and they're like, sweet. Now everybody will get to watch it. They won't have to just tune in to some little internet broadcast. The people who are having a problem, they weren't watching the show to begin with. They won't watch it now. They just don't like it that somebody's making some money somewhere.
Yeah.
There is probably a
I could have made a show about good stuff happening if I was a 6'3" handsome movie star with one of the greatest sitcoms.
If
ever
I was
made.
also on The Office for 10 years. Yeah. And you're right. You're right about that. It's mostly people bitching as per usual that don't even watch. But how are you entertained by a show that's only about good news? You know why the media always brings up shit that's bad news?
It bleeds, it leads.
Because if it bleeds, it leads. That's what you want. You don't want to talk about, puppies being saved from a fire more than once every 45 minutes.
You'll like the season of The Wire when they follow the newspaper. That's coming.